I'm having to improvise because I can't find the cord to my laptop. This is my opening song. This is the Stephanie show. It's the best show in my whole world. I've got Josh Ronsen with me. I've known him for I don't know how many years. Maybe 2, right?
Maybe 2.
Was it 2 years?
Maybe 25.
We met on Facebook. He, what is it that you put together again that I performed in?
It was a skit for No Shame Theater. I love No Shame Theater. And this was somewhat of a parody of the 3 witches scenes in the back. I thought it was brilliant.
Yes, it was.
I had the 3 witches, but instead of being witches, they were selling Viagra pills. And I was the customer coming in to pick up his Viagra pills. And it was amazing how few words I had to change from Shakespeare's play to make the witches sell the Viagra pills. I think maybe I just changed one word and I just rearranged some things. But there were some great lines it was, I can't quote the memory, but it was so much a man, yet not a man at all.
Yeah, because he can't get it up.
But it just flowed beautifully in the stereo. And I asked some people, I said, hey, who wants to be a witch for my scene? And Stephanie was one of the people who said yes.
Oh yeah, I was the 3rd witch. I remember it.
Maybe the best witch.
I think I was. I wore black. I wore a short black dress. I try to be as whorish as possible, which I usually do. That's what I do.
Hey, before we go any further, I have, a couple years ago, I wrote a theme song for myself. If I was ever on a talk show or what have you, they would play this song, and can I play my theme
Yes,
song?
go for it.
Okay. Let's do this. So this is...
What's the name of your song?
The name of the song is called Fast Break, but then you can just call it Josh Ronsen Theme Song.
This is the Josh Ronsen theme song.
Josh Ronsen.
Josh Ronsen theme song.
Let's go.
It sounded like mice running around everywhere.
Oh, through the microphone?
Well, no.
Or just in your head?
I guess in my head. But it also kind of had They Might Be Giants type of inspiration to it.
I listen to a lot of music, and that's what I wrote for myself.
I liked it. I'm really excited about that.
It's kind of different. Usually, I do a lot of different forms of art, a lot of music. Usually my music is very experimental, very noisy. It doesn't really have normal chords or melodies or progressions. It's very... the common person wouldn't recognize it as being music.
Yeah, you do a lot of art. One of them I've seen is your mail art. And one of your mail art, you have several different types of mail art, or is it just a small, tiny art exchange?
It is...
By the way, the tiny art exchange is where he exchanges art with other people from around the world.
Yes.
And he displays them here in Austin. So go ahead.
There's a webpage. I started getting involved in mail art in 1986, and it is an international, sometimes collaboration, but it's thousands of people, of artists all around the world exchanging their art to other artists for free. Sometimes you just make something and you send it to someone you know. Sometimes there are projects based on a theme or a size. Sometimes in Europe they'll say, our city has been around for 800 years and send us a piece of art that celebrates our 800th year of being a city, and you can get a catalog. There's always an exchange. A few years ago I did my theme was ants. I'm interested in ants scientifically.
Why are you interested in ants?
I don't know. They're just, we can talk about ants for a long time, but it's just interest I have. Just how they form their societies, how they communicate. Like the bees, which my wife is into, they just have a very weird sexual structure where there's just one female that lays all the eggs, and so all the workers are females, and there are just a couple of men, and all they do is sit around until mating day, and then they mate, and then they're gone.
Do you think that ants are lesbians with each other? If there's so many female worker ants, they probably have to be lesbian.
I think both ants and bees, they're just working, they have no fun, they have no downtime. Bees in particular, bees will work, and then there are various levels of jobs, and they just work, and then when they can't do that job, they do the less strenuous job, and then they work, and then they go down to the...
Then we take their honey away, we're so selfish.
And then when they can't work, they literally just die.
They die.
They get tossed out of the hive.
So
I don't think there's any...
die for our honey.
That's right. So I don't think they have any downtime. I don't think they have any time for love or friendship. They're just constantly work.
Do you think that's why people made those little ant movies? So we could imagine that that's not the core reality?
Like that movie with Woody Allen? Ants with a Z?
No, I don't like Woody Allen. I hate Woody Allen.
But anyway, so I had a mail art project, and 20 or so people around the world sent me artwork, and then I took all the artwork and I made a poster, and then everyone who sent me something got a poster. So this was the exchange. They sent me their artwork, and then they get a poster with everyone's art on it. And when you do these projects, you're always meeting new people. You're always learning things about people around the world. There was an artist in Houston who was a grade school teacher. So she had her children in her class make these art postcards. And this is an ant taking a bubble bath.
Yeah.
Ants have to get clean. So
why did you decide to do this? What got you? You said you started in '86. What was?
96.
96.
Why I started this project, or why I started mail art?
Yeah. What inspired you to do that? Or motivated you?
I was working for a magazine in town called ND Magazine. Dan Plunkett, the publisher, now runs the Ann Avenue Record Store. But throughout the 80s and 90s, he had a music magazine called ND, but there would always be a mail art section. He was involved with mail art for a long time. And so I was interested in music. I think the magazine from cover to cover. And the mail art section was just really weird. I didn't know what was going on. Because it wasn't explained to you. It was a section for people who already were in the mail art scene and were doing mail art, so nothing was explained to you. People who weren't, it was really weird. It was these pictures, and people would meet together and exchange stuff. And it was just so weird and odd. And I never knew what was going on. And then the mail editor left, and so they needed someone to compile all the projects. And I said, okay, well, I'll do that, because I'm just so perplexed by it. And so I started compiling the upcoming projects and exhibitions, and then I just slowly started doing it myself. And now I'm an expert.
What do you think about my hair?
I like it. It reminds me of somebody.
Because I'm kind of regretting doing this. I'm probably going to dye it black again.
Who does it remind me of? Maybe like something from a superhero movie.
I was hoping Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper's good, but she's like totally
red,
orange, you know.
Orange. Yeah.
There's some sort of superhero that has the beautiful, like landscape.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a comic nerd.
Maybe I'm thinking of Rogue from the X-Men.
What's in this box?
This is
it Tears? It says Tears on it. Let me read it. Okay, it says, the top part, I don't even know what it says, but it says Sudden Empire of Tears, and it's got a dolphin on it. So this is fucking awesome, I guess. So what is this about?
This is my last music CD.
Oh, it's a music CD?
It's
it looks like a code thing. It's brilliant.
The name of my primary music project is called Coax Coax. I've got about 4 CDs out. It's all experimental music. Some of it is improvised music with other people. This one is all solo electroacoustic works in which I've recorded acoustic instruments, clarinets, bass clarinets, pianos.
I played the bass clarinet.
Really? Well, bring it over.
No, I don't have it. The school owned it.
Oh, that's a
Because it was a really expensive instrument.
Yeah, they are.
I was first chair for a long time.
The cheap plastic ones are like $800.
Like those big cheap plastic ones?
Yeah.
What else do you have?
But anyway, so this CD is all electroacoustic works. I've recorded bass clarinets and then I electronically process them. And in general, the processes destroy the characteristic sounds of the instruments. So you really can't tell it's a clarinet. But I find interesting little wavelengths within the music, and I accentuate them, and I expand upon them. And
so you kind of glitch. You're kind of glitching sound, basically.
Yes. I'm taking things that are hidden within the sounds and making those the new sounds, and then the sort of the clarinet part of the sound goes away.
That's pretty deep.
Yes. I've read a lot about it. I listen to a lot of music. It's very interesting to me, at least.
Well, do you have these tracks on your website?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I can't play anything right now, but I can see where this is. What's it called again? There's a Frequency Curtain. That's another one.
Frequency Curtain is a project with Rick Reed and John Grusnick.
They live here?
John used to live here. He now lives in Estonia. He runs or co-runs a artist center. They get money from the Estonian government to bring artists into do projects, but also to bring children in to do very interesting artistic projects. Not finger paint, just not what's finger paints and stuff. But they're building things. They're going out into the woods and recording sounds of cricket.
Oh, that's good.
And one of these days, I've never been to Europe. I'd love to go to Europe. I'd love to visit all my music and friends around. But that's a project. We don't really work on that project too much anymore.
So you don't perform like in Austin anywhere? You don't perform any music anywhere?
I do when I get invited, or when I set up shows myself. Do
you have a show coming up?
I have a show in May 28th. I don't know where it is, but it's the second How to Play Guitar. My friend Christopher Petkis sets up these shows and invites guitar players who perform unusual guitar works. It's like 5 minutes per work.
You have a lot going on in your head all the time, don't you?
I do.
Like, is that why you do a lot? You have all this, you have like a million ideas running through your head a minute?
Yes, and if you're an artist, if you have an idea, you can't do the idea. You just feel like total shit. You feel like a failure. Even if you do the idea and it's a failure itself, at least you did it and it's out there. But if you can't do something and it just stays inside you, you just feel horrible.
Carl thinks you're a genius. He told me that. Who's your favorite artist here in Austin?
In Austin, I'm one of those people. I like a lot of people. Music-wise, my friends in the Awesome Music Co-op, I really love Brent Ferris, Travis Weller, Jacob Green.
Are they nerds?
Some of them are nerdy.
I like nerds.
But this is awesome, so, they're also potheads, but intellectual potheads.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah. So I've heard. I mean, I've never tried it myself, but I've heard that...
Carl Sagan smoked pot.
I met Carl Sagan once.
No!
Yes. I went to the University of Chicago, and that's where Carl Sagan went. So we were both members of the Ryerson Astronomical Society. So we would climb up to our telescope room, and we'd log in what we would look at through the telescope, and in logs from the 50s, we would read his handwritten.
Did you get to touch him?
The notes, the notebooks, yeah.
But did you get to touch a Carl Sagan?
Yeah, he came by to do a lecture once.
Did you hug him?
I think I just shook his hand. And, of course, at that time he was such a big media celebrity that, I didn't really come to talk to him. It was like, hey, I remember the
press. I would have jumped on him. I would have, just attached myself to him and never let go.
He's quite handsome.
Yeah, I've had dreams about him. And he invites me into his underground lair, and he serves me vodka, and he plays, smooth jazz.
I've heard that's what he does.
Yeah. For real?
Yeah.
Then I had dreams, so he basically took me into, the fifth dimension and tried to fuck me. Oh, man. I love Carl Sagan.
I think, I don't know that, but I think he was pretty loyal to his wife.
Well,
but there may have been...
But I don't care.
But there may have been some flirting.
Carl Sagan.
Going on.
There may have been some what?
Flirting.
Everybody's attracted to each other, I think. It's just natural. Some people have, pheromones. You smell pheromones. Speaking of which, your wife's pretty hot.
Oh, thank you. I think so.
Yeah. I like your wife a lot.
I do too.
Does she know that I have a crush on her? She does now.
Did you tell her?
No, but she does now. Well, how'd y'all meet? Where'd y'all meet?
Oh, this is a great story. We just told it yesterday. My wife Jennifer is from Buffalo, and that's where my parents moved after I was in college. So I never lived in Buffalo. But my parents in Buffalo, my mom works at a bookstore, and my wife Jennifer was working for her. And Jennifer likes books. Working in a bookstore, you kind of have to like books, I guess. She's a book lover like me. She had read a short story some time ago, and she couldn't remember the author or the title of the short story. So she said, she was talking to my mom, hey, I'm trying to figure out what this short story is. And my mom said, oh, you should write it to my son. He's read a lot of books. So Jennifer wrote me a letter and said, hey, your mom told me to ask you if you would know what this short story is. And it just so happened that this was the one Kurt Vonnegut short story I've ever read. And I said, oh, it sounds like a Kurt Vonnegut short story.
That's fucking romantic.
And it was. And so then fate is fate, and we started writing letters, and then...
Oh, who writes letters anymore? Nobody does that.
We would write letters like every 2 or 3 days.
Oh, man.
We had email, but we would write letters.
That's so fucking sweet. It makes me want to puke.
Yeah, when book lovers fall in love.
Oh, writing letters to each other every other day. Has anybody ever heard of that? No. You're a freak.
Well,
no, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
I found another freak like me.
So I want to talk about my day for a little bit.
Okay.
I have to work after this. I filmed dancers this weekend, and I hurt really bad because I was moving around a lot. So I think I'm gonna start working out now.
Who were the dancers?
I don't know. They're from Puerto Rico or I don't know, whatever. Someplace far away.
You didn't ask them their names?
No, because I don't care. I got paid to film them. I don't want to know them.
Who is paying you?
Dance International.
Okay.
It's a nonprofit organization that the city of Austin funds. And yeah, they have like all that old like Roomba and like ballroom dancing and waltzing, and nobody is doing that, so I guess people should go do that, and that's my advertisement for that.
In college, the University of Chicago, where Carl Sagan went, I took 2 quarters of ballroom dance.
How'd you do?
I'm kind of awkward, both on my feet and with strange women, but I thought I did pretty well. I learned.
Did they smell bad?
The women?
Yeah, you said strange women.
No, they were beautiful, smart UFC women. But it was great. We learned how to waltz and foxtrot. I really liked the foxtrot.
Did you get close to their boobs?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was like total. We were, all.
Did you get hard?
We were no. I was totally professional about it.
Yeah, I know you're like that.
But yeah, we weren't in junior high or anything. It was like total touching.
Yeah, watching those dancers, it's like a mix of like this like cognitive and primal activity. You know what I mean? Because it is pretty primal. There's a lot of this part of you that's like awakened, and it is pretty sexual. And I need to get laid. I just keep talking about sex every time I go up here.
And especially dance like the tango, we were just doing the beginner stuff. So I mean, in the tango and some other dances, there are moves where you grab the woman by her waist and you turn her around and you put her on your knee. So we didn't do any advanced stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
But everyone I think should take a ballroom dance class. It's just
do it.
It's just a lot of fun.
Does anybody have any questions for Josh? He has a lot of stuff up here. Like he brought like all his stuff and all these pamphlets. I think he's a Mormon secretly.
I'm very Jewish.
Oh, good. I love Jews.
But I thought we could do something. So I'm a mail artist, so I constantly send out mail to people around the world.
Yeah.
And then
Can we go back to you being Jewish real quick?
Yes,
do you celebrate Hanukkah?
Sometimes. We didn't this year, but usually we look like the candles all 8 days.
Do you think a lot of like there's 8 gifts that you give, right?
Yes.
Like I would probably go to the Dollar Tree if I was Jewish and I celebrated Hanukkah.
The giving of the gifts every day is just a way to get children into it and sort of make them feel good that they're not getting Christmas presents.
Oh, is that the reason why Hanukkah was invented?
It's not why it was invented, but that's why it's become like a gift-giving thing.
Oh.
Strictly speaking, it's not a gift-giving thing, but it usually comes around Christmas, so you get 8 gifts, you get 8 days of presents.
Do you remember that SNL like short? It was like Christmas time for the Jews and all the Jews. Did you ever watch that? It was like claymation, like short, and like all the Jews are out during Christmas Day and they're like happy because like the city's practically empty and they're just running around.
I didn't see that one.
You need to look it up on YouTube.
I do remember the one where Santa Claus gets sick, so he asks his friend Hanukkah Harry.
Yeah, I remember that.
To live, so his children love it. So he goes around and he's giving the kids socks. And I think it's Victoria Jackson. She's like, "Why are you giving us socks?" He goes, "Santa usually."
I remember that. He was wearing blue. Yeah, he had a blue outfit on.
You don't like socks? What's wrong with socks?
My dad really he loves Jews, so he would talk about the culture a lot when we were growing up, all the time.
Was this your Mexican father?
No, he's a white dude.
You're white dude.
Yeah, total white.
There are when in 1492 when Spain kicked out all of their Jews, they said to the Jews, you could leave Spain or you could convert. So a lot of Jews left, but a lot of Jews stayed and said, okay, yeah, we'll convert, but they didn't convert. And they were known as crypto-Jews. And so some of these Jews did leave Spain and came from the New World to Mexico, into what's now New Mexico. as crypto-Jews. But even in the New World, they still had to hide their Jewishness. So over the hundreds and hundreds of years, they were still Jews, but they were so used to being secretive about it that they forgot that they were Jews. But they still celebrated, they still worship on Saturday.
So we're all Jews?
No, some of them are. Not all of them.
I want to be a Jew.
Well, if your family goes to church on Saturday, but they don't know why, if they don't eat pork, and they don't know why, it's like we've just never eaten pork, they may be crypto Jews.
No, we eat pork. What do you have in it? What do you have in it?
Some topics I was going to talk about.
Are you bringing the band?
A band?
Yeah.
No, I could bring a band. Oh, the marching band?
Yeah.
No one got back to me. I was trying to get a marching band to come in right about now, because we'd be talking in a marching band.
That would have been really nice.
I know that's been a dream of mine for
Tell them they
years.
suck.
To have a marching band just interrupt one of my performances.
Let's talk about the news.
Yes.
What's going on in the world? Do you know anything? I don't
More of
know
the
anything.
same. More of the same.
Let's see. I'll read Fox News.
People are mad at Iran. There's war in the Middle East. There's
There's a show called Naked and Afraid on Discovery Channel. Has anybody seen that show?
I've seen the commercials.
What is that about?
They take people and they take their clothes and they throw them in the woods and then they film them.
Why would they do that?
Because they had a show where they took people, they didn't take their clothes and they threw them in the woods and they filmed them, and it was kind of boring. So they were like, how can we cheaply fix
Do you think people
this
like
show?
watching other people suffer?
Yes, unfortunately.
Is that why we have like shows like CSI and SVU?
That's why we have boxing.
I don't like boxing.
I don't either. But yeah, people love to watch other people get hurt and get punched out.
What's your favorite color?
Blue,
That's good.
I think.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food. Oh, I love food. Like people in art and music. I just love food. Austin has so many great food places.
Yeah, it's okay.
I just went to Astor's Ethiopian place on 35.
Did you like that one?
Astor's?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You need to try the one in Pflugerville.
I haven't been there.
It's called Taste of Ethiopia.
Your guest last week was talking about it as well.
Yeah, I think some of his family owns that.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. Astor's has a lunch buffet, $10. You can eat till you puke, and then go back eat more.
But do they hug you?
If you want to hug me.
No, the owner of this restaurant will hug you.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, she'll come up to you, she'll hug you, she'll tell you how, like, awesome you are, and she just smothers you with love.
So next time I go to Astor's, I'm going to say, well, in case Ethiopia, they hug you, where's my hug?
Don't do that.
I'm going to do that.
What if they have, like, a turf war? Like a hug war?
I'm going to try and get a hug from Astor's.
Don't tell them I said anything. I don't want
I won't mention your name.
Then I'll be like, you're talking shit.
But we've got so many good restaurants in Austin. Swad Veggie Food is a great vegetarian Indian place. Lamar and Runberg. I also really like Schmaltz.
Schmaltz.
They are a vegetarian Jewish sandwich place.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna make fun of it, but since it's Jewish, it's okay.
And vegetarian. Delicious falafel sandwich.
Falafel. What is falafel?
Falafel is you take chickpeas, you chop them up, you mold them together with some sort of binding agent, and you deep fry them.
What's the binding agent?
I don't know, maybe eggs or...
I like how you describe the food.
with a binding
agent.
Eat
it. It's got a binding agent in it.
Yeah, I mean, I cook a little bit from cookbooks, but I'm always following the recipes. I don't really know.
Do you like Star Wars?
I really like the first 2 movies, and then I really hated the last 2 movies.
So what do you think about the new ones coming out?
I don't know.
A lot of people are like really excited.
I think people are excited because there's no way they could be as bad as the Phantom Menace and the Attack of the Clones.
I never really pay attention to the movies. I just kind of set through them because my best friend liked them. So I just, didn't really pay attention.
So I don't know how I feel about the new ones. Is it J.J. Abrams who's directing the new one?
I don't know. George Lucas looks like a Ewok.
Well, I think George Lucas is like out of the picture now.
George Lucas is ugly.
I don't know, he looks cuddly.
He's gross. You know why I think he's gross? Because I saw that episode of South Park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that Indiana Jones one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Sarah? Do you know what I'm talking about? The Indiana Jones episode with George Lucas that was on South Park?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. That's why I don't like George Lucas anymore.
Yeah, that Indiana Jones movie was as bad as The Phantom Menace.
You haven't watched the South Park episode?
I have.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you didn't. I was too lost thinking about it. I'm still thinking. I wish I could play it on here right now. Like, I want to play it so bad. What are you going to do after this? Did you ride your bike here or did you drive?
I drove because I brought my guitar. I'm going to go home, give the car to my wife. She's been playing darts. She's becoming very good at darts. She's in the league. I don't know if they've got a match or they're just going to practice after.
Oh man, they're like professional dart players over like in the UK and Scotland.
Yeah.
Did you know about that?
I think so.
Yeah, like they're really serious. Like they have like a whole stadium and they fill up a whole stadium of people watching people play darts.
Jennifer is in a league. They just started playing. I don't know the games or the rules, but my Jennifer just got, if you know about darts, you'll be impressed by this, she just got a 1/16 out in this particular game.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed.
And it's like the league high for the season.
Is she gonna go into the Olympics?
Do
Do you think they have darts in the Olympics someday?
I'm surprised they don't. They seem to have just about everything. And
so what else do you got in here? What's this yellow thing?
This is an experimental play I put on in February.
Oh, that's the one I didn't do.
I invited you to be one of the parts, but you were talking about your vagina.
I was in the vagina monologues.
Yeah. I can't be in your play. I have to talk about my vagina, is what she said.
I did say that, I didn't.
But we soldiered on. We got someone else to do the part for you.
Who took my part?
I was my friend Hannah Chow from the Church of the Friendly Ghost. They're the ones who sponsored the
I
play.
beat her up for taking my part.
No, she didn't take her part.
Oh.
She was producing the play basically.
Oh, never mind.
But she said, hey, there's this woman in the New Music Co-op. I thought that was good. You should ask her. And so I asked her.
Oh, okay.
And she was perfect for the part.
Okay, what's with the picture? He has a picture of a man and a lady, and I don't know why.
This is composer conductor Pierre Boulez talking to a blonde woman. There's in the book about Boulez. I don't like Pierre Boulez for various reasons.
Is that why you brought his picture?
This was research for my project, my Pierre Boulez project. It was kind of a mail-out project. I asked people around the world to send me Pierre Boulez records they no longer wanted, and I would destroy them all. And so I had 120 Boulez records. Boulez was a conductor for the New York Harmonic in the 70s, and he had said right before he had taken over, he was criticizing people like Duchamp and John Cage, and he said Duchamp had famously painted a mustache on a reproduction of Mona Lisa. And Boulez had said in the New York Times, it's not enough to just to face the past. All art of the past must be destroyed. But yet here he was making a lot of money conducting art of the past. And that's really rubbed me the wrong way. He's won 27 Grammy Awards. most of them for art of the past. So that was this project. I would take the Les records and I would destroy this art of the past, and it was a lot of fun.
Did you take pictures of it?
Yes. I didn't take pictures, someone else took pictures. I was just
So is this still an ongoing project?
No. I've destroyed 120 of those records, and
how many pictures do you have?
on my webpage, there's a link to Pure Bless Project.
Okay.
And you can go there and look at the pictures.
Have you thought about making that into a video?
A video where they're just static photos.
I see it. Oh, so did you do this, the Church of the Friendly Ghost?
The original Church of the Friendly Ghost, which was actually in a ghost. I mean, actually in a church.
It was in a church. Which church was it in?
It was on 2nd and Pedernales. Some people, it used to be a church, they were renting out his house, so these people rented it as a house, and then in the big church area, they said, hey, let's have shows in here. And I was friends with them, so we had to do whatever I wanted.
So what else do you do besides your art?
I do music,
Mm-hmm.
I do writing.
Music, you're writing.
I do Notion Theater.
Have you written any books? Have you completed any books?
No, I would love to write a novel.
Have you gotten started on it?
Yeah. I have a note here that says I should write a novel. so I've done some groundwork. Hey, let's see what time it is. Do you want to open up some mail with me?
What kind of mail?
Mail art mail.
Okay.
I saved, so like I said,
Oh, so this is stuff you haven't even looked at.
this is stuff I haven't looked at. I send out a lot of art to people around the world, and I get art from people around the world. And sometimes it's people I'm familiar with, and sometimes it's, who do I know in Pensacola, Florida?
Somebody tan.
So you look at the one from Florida.
I get to open this?
Yeah.
So honored. Can we pass this around to our guest?
Sure.
Uh-oh, I'm tearing it all funny.
Oh, that's okay. So what is this?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'm not going to read his stuff, I'm just looking at it.
So sometimes people send me things, their invitations to projects, their documentations of projects they've done.
Do you think this is broken? Broken? Look at this. It's a lady with boobs and a vagina or something. I love it.
I think this is a sticker. It's supposed to be covering up.
It says haddock on here. Like it's like fish, maybe. Like she's like taken aside. Y'all want to come look at it? You can come look at it. No? Yeah.
A lot of people have nicknames and pen names, and so I think there is a guy. His thing is haddock.
Nice. Respect.
And he's got this letter here. Needed yesterday. An intimate discussion with Dr. William Cobb. Well, okay, well.
So one of my mailer friends is Anna Banana in Vancouver.
Oh, I remember that name, Anna Banana.
And surprise, she likes bananas. So all of her art involves bananas. She does these weird banana performances. She's got a newsletter she sends out where she documents bananas in the news.
Yeah, her little stuff was one of our favorites.
So this from this clearly says this is art. Very helpful.
Yeah.
And so we open it up, and there's a weird photo of art. It's
abstract.
There's a defaced Marilyn Monroe artwork. There is.
Do you think that was taken on the street?
This is, even though there's no name on this, sometimes you see a lot of people's work, and so you recognize it. So seeing this work, I know this is from Mona Lisa.
Oh, look at that.
That's Mona Lisa's art name, Mona Lisa. So I recognize this as being one of her works.
I need a projector.
Just from the style, she has a project where she takes fashion photos, or maybe that's pornography.
I don't think that's pornography at all.
Or whatever, but then she alters the photo in some interesting, unusual way.
I like it.
So she's made hundreds of these, and so I've seen, maybe not hundreds of them, but I've seen enough to so I instantly recognize this is one of her works. And we got a third envelope.
Oh,
Want to open the third envelope?
Yeah.
This
Give me.
is, where's it from?
I shouldn't have done that. I'm
It's
worried.
okay.
This is from Dallas, Texas.
Dallas,
Is
Texas.
that what it says?
So it's like, who do I know in Dallas, Texas? I know a couple
Wait,
people in
no,
Dallas.
it went through Dallas, Texas. Handwriting's pretty.
Yeah, so these artists that I'm in contact with, they're just amazing, amazing artists.
Yeah, they are.
It's always really inspiring.
Evidence of work. It looks like a. What is this? I love it.
This is called an add and pass project. You add to it and then you pass it on. Someone added this part, photocopied it, and then sent it on to the next person, me, and so I'm expected to draw something or tape something or do something to it,
It's
and then
nice.
send it on. And then usually there is usually people put their addresses, names and addresses on. So here we have Alex Gildzen in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So if I like what Alex did to this, I can say, hey, I can mail Alex directly and say, hey, I like your stuff. Here's some of my stuff. Let's start.
Don't have your own currency.
This is
It says United Internal Network.
seeing this Fluxus Bucks. I know this is from
Fluxus Bucks.
from Julie Jeffries, or her pen name is Ex Posto Facto.
Yeah.
And her main project is she makes these colored Fluxus Bucks, and she wants you to add to this made-up currency, and then either send it back to her or to send it to someone else, and it goes around collecting stuff. Do you want to write something on this?
I want it to. Are y'all gonna spin these?
What's going to happen is I'm going to send this to somebody, and then they're going to add to it, and then they're going to send it back to her. So you can draw a picture, you could write a poem, you could just scribble something, just add to it.
There you go.
And then what she does is,
Please get me out of me head.
and then once these Fluxus Bucks with people's contributions,
See,
so
like
they'll come
I'm looking
back.
at these and I'm kind of visualizing a bunch of artists like at a festival and they're passing these bucks around. Like, did you collect enough Fluxus bucks and like buy like arts and crafts with them? That's what should happen with these. Like, you should have a festival and it should be at your own currency.
You can do that. But then once she gets the
But we'll
dollars
back it up.
sent back to her, she sends a list of all the bucks she's been sent back to her, who sent them to her, and get put on a list. So you can see my name's on the list at 307. And, I've been doing this for almost 20 years, so I recognize a lot of these other names because I've worked with them.
So y'all have like accounts, you had accounts open for 20 years?
Basically.
And so you have 307 Fluxus bucks?
Maybe.
Y'all have to spend these on something.
Well, they get sent back to her.
Oh.
So she's got a huge archive of all these Fluxus bucks with people's...
This is just like, why is she doing this?
That's what she does.
But it's like is it just like, I don't like, I love art. I just don't get this in particular. What is like, are people supposed to be inspired, or what is it? Like some kind of like paper connection with each other? I mean, I get the tiny mail art, but like the Fluxus bucks just throws me off.
This is just her take on it. This is what she wants to do, and this is what she does.
Well, I think she's, I don't like her.
I
don't
really
know her. I think she's probably great. I just, like, it just seems so exhausting to look at, like, to, maybe she's channeling some anxiety or something. That's all I can think of. Because I wouldn't keep records of invisible currency.
But here she is in this sheet. She makes a record of Neosho in Chicago. She sent 4 of them, and then Massimo in Italy has sent her 4, and she sent out 4, and then
see, she's letting everybody know who's doing it and who's not.
That's right.
It's like gossip.
So where's
she's
my
trying
name?
to start fights.
So my account is I've sent her 0, and she sent me 4.
Yeah, you're horrible.
So I've got to
you're a buster.
But then she has a note section where she says, like, what I've sent her issue 10 of my zine, Mailer, Know the Dangers. So she knows I've sent her something. I didn't send her any flex.
Oh yeah, this is really funny. When I went to his tiny art exchange, it's a couple, they look really distressed. It looks like an after-school special, like, pamphlet.
And it's warning people of the dangers of mail art. Do you want to read some of the dangers?
The dangers of mail art.
If you're at all inspired by these artists sending stuff to each other,
okay, so why should I learn more about it? Because many people don't know the risk of mail art use. Some people may even think mail art is harmless. The fact is, mail art is not harmless. It can have a negative effect on the user's mind, body, and personality. And there's 2 boys here, and one of them is wearing a Tone Lock t-shirt. The t-shirt says Tone Lock on it. Mail art users usually experience bloodshot eyes, sudden hunger, a dry mouth or throat, paper cuts, loss of coordination, stamp glue, overdose, increased postage. They may feel silly or stupid, quiet.
You spend a lot of money
doing
mailing stuff to people around the world.
Confused or afraid, nothing unusual.
You may feel nothing unusual.
You need to put some porn in. Oh, here they are. I was fixing to say you need to put some porn here. It's like, mail art can also affect your reproductive system. In women, frequent mail art use has been linked to abnormal menstrual cycles. In men, long-term use, a decrease in sperm count or abnormal sperm. And you get HIV and STDs for mail art.
Yeah. Read the whole box.
Because mail art can impair judgment. Using it can result in risky sexual behavior, especially with other mail art artists. So, like, y'all are a sex ring?
Some of them.
Have they had unplanned pregnancies?
I'm sure.
I bet there's a lot of artists that do have, like, HIV. I don't know. Psychological problems, poor social skills. I have poor social skills.
Well, you shouldn't do mail art.
Huh?
You shouldn't do mail art then. It'll
No.
make it worse.
Confusion, dependence, tolerance.
A while back, I
Who put
made.
this together? Did you put this together?
Yeah. All me. A while back, I made up the Texas Association of Concerned Mail Artists. In 2008, I made a directory and had other mail artists in Texas send me
Oh
something.
yeah, that's another one of your movements. You had like, did you write a book or did you put something together about garnish, like getting rid of garnish on plates?
It's a project. Goop, garnish off our plates. It's talking about how many millions of dollars we waste on garnish.
Is it true? Is that a fact?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody eats garnish? I eat my garnish sometimes. Like if it's
You're one of the rare
kale or whatever.
You're one of the rare people. In the 1970s, this is on the webpage, I need to update the webpage. The mafia, in a way to launder money, what they would do is they would approach restaurants and say, hey, if you don't want anything bad to happen to your restaurant, you gotta buy parsley from us. And the parsley was like $5 a sprig of parsley. And this is how Parsley got on plates in New York restaurants. Is there was a huge extortion scam from the mafia. So if you're at a restaurant and there's parsley to your plate, don't bring it up. But we all know why the parsley's there.
Because of the mafia?
Yeah.
That's a good reason to.
Yeah.
That burners. Okay, we got 10 minutes left. Does anybody have questions for Josh?
10 minutes left.
Yeah. And I gotta get going.
I gotta get going too.
Yeah. Anyone have a question for Josh?
Comments?
Concerns?
Oh, I got a question.
Okay.
So I told this joke at Notion Theater. I did a stand-up set. I'm not a stand-up comic or anything, but I wrote 43 jokes and I told them in 5 minutes. One of my jokes I really like, and it was perfect for No Shame, but I want to do something else with the joke. I need some advice on how to turn the joke, what I can do to the joke.
Okay, tell it.
This is a joke. Did you know, and it's about Jews, did you know that Jews invented stand-up comedy? It's true. It's right there in Genesis. Abraham and Sarah were sitting around and God came to them and said, Sarah, you're going to have a baby. You're 90 years old. You're going to have a baby. Sarah laughed. God became angry and said, why are you laughing? And Sarah said, oh, it's not what you said. It was, and she proceeded to just tell anything funny she could think of, just one after another, just to, I'm not laughing at you, God. It was this joke I was thinking of. And Sarah nailed it for a female comic. That's a joke.
God knocked up Sarah?
Well, the problem with the joke is, I like the joke, but I don't like the sexist ending.
The sexist ending.
She nailed it for a female comic.
She nailed it for a female comic.
She was very funny for a female comic. She was the first comic. She was a female
comic. I
I
see what you're saying now. Oh.
So I like the joke, but
so
I don't like the punchline. How can I make the joke easily funny, but without it being this sexist?
Well, I mean, I think you do need to. I mean, sexism exists, so, maybe find a way to merge that message into the punchline. Because, I'm okay with sexist jokes, as long as they're delivered in good taste, and they pretty much put it out on the table that this is a problem that exists. It's the same thing with, racist jokes. I mean, you say a racist joke in a certain manner just to bring light to the subject that racism still exists. So you could do that the same with that. But the Genesis is horrible. It's a very chauvinistic, what do you call it, chapter in the Bible.
Oh, there are a lot of
chapters. It is.
But so I really like this joke. I want to do something else with it, but it was perfect for No Shame Theater, but taken out of No Shame, I feel shamed about that such a punchline.
I don't think you should.
I should keep it as it is.
Well, yeah, because you're bringing light to reality. Okay. Yeah. Josh, you're awesome. I think you're great. I think a lot of the stuff that you do, there's so many things that you do that are unique and they're not around, and you can't find them anywhere, especially your music, and then the names that you give them. It's like you're almost from a different planet, really.
Oh, there are a lot of people doing very similar things that I'm doing, and maybe they're doing better.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you put equations into them.
Sometimes I do put equations into things.
You do? Yeah, because you studied physics.
I studied physics.
Yeah.
And just about everything is physics. Love is physics.
I think we're done now.
Okay.
I don't have my computer hooked up to the laptop, so I can't play my closing song. But Josh,
thank you very much.
It was great.
Thank you for letting me show
my
posters and
Thank you for letting me open that mail art. That was That was really sweet and kind of you to let me open that.
I get about one piece of mail art in the mail a day.
I know that, but like it meant something to me because I've seen it and looked at it, so it's kind of like opening a Christmas present.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you for everyone who's helped me and inspired me and worked with me. Thank you very much.
Woo! Done! Now I gotta go.